If you've been feeling drained, overwhelmed, like everything's coming at you from all sides, this is not random. You are in the middle of a spiritual war, and it's not just happening to you. It's happening because of you, because the enemy sees what's about to come from your life, and he's terrified. This war isn't physical. You're not just fighting people, problems, or delays. You're wrestling powers, principalities, invisible forces trying to block your purpose and bury your light. And if you're feeling the intensity right now, chosen one, that's because you're standing on the edge of a divine breakthrough. The reason it's getting darker is because you're about to shine brighter than ever before. See, when you were silent, when you were uncertain, when you didn't know your power, the enemy was unbothered. But now that you've awakened, now that you've chosen alignment over comfort, the attacks have increased. You've probably noticed it. People turning against you out of nowhere. Doors slamming shut just as you were about to walk through. Sudden fear, strange anxiety, heavy fatigue that rest doesn't fix. These are spiritual symptoms of a war for your destiny. And I'm here to tell you, you are not losing. You're being tested. God is allowing this pressure not to break you, but to reveal you. Because the next version of you, the version that's about to walk in divine power, financial overflow, and kingdom authority, cannot be soft, cannot be shaken, cannot be distracted by petty warfare. So this is your training ground. You're not being punished. You're being sharpened. You're not forgotten. You're being forged. That isolation, it's where your discernment grows. That delay, it's where your faith matures. That betrayal, it's where your anointing multiplies. Chosen one, the battlefield is proof that you're valuable. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't a threat. You are a threat to darkness, and he knows he can't take your calling. So what does he do? He tries to wear you down, distract you with temporary emotions, get you to question your path, convince you to quit right before your victory shows up. But now you know the game. Now you see the pattern. And now you're not going to fold. Because this spiritual war is your awakening. It's where you stop reacting and start responding with divine power. You stop trying to explain yourself and start praying from a place of authority. You stop fighting in the flesh and start declaring with fire in your spirit. This is your test, and it's bringing out the warrior in you. See, God doesn't use the qualified. He qualifies the willing, and every day you choose to keep going despite the warfare, you pass the test. Every time you speak life over yourself instead of doubt, you pass the test. Every time you resist the urge to shrink back and instead rise up in boldness, you pass the test. Heaven is watching, and so is hell. And they both know this moment matters. This is where your legacy is shaped. This is where your identity is cemented. This is where the world finally sees who you really are. So don't let the warfare fool you into thinking you're off track. The enemy doesn't hit what's standing still. He hits what's moving toward purpose. And you, chosen one, are moving. Your prayers are shaking things. Your presence is disrupting darkness. Your obedience is unlocking generational blessings. You're not weak. You're wise. You're not broken. You're building. You're not late. You're right on time. The spiritual attacks you're facing, they're confirmation. Confirmation that you're carrying something holy, something rare, something powerful. And it's exactly why the pressure's been so intense. But guess what? Pressure doesn't just crush. It creates diamonds. And you're becoming unbreakable. So stop worrying. Start warring. Get back in alignment with your assignment. Stay in your word. Cover your space in prayer. Speak life into your days. Fast when your spirit says fast. Move when God says move. This is not the time to get lazy. This is not the time to get passive. This is the time to be alert, to be disciplined, to be deeply rooted in your purpose. Because the enemy is bold, but your God is bigger. Your angels are active. Your path is protected. And no weapon formed against you will prosper, Not even the ones that look like they're prospering for a moment. They're temporary illusions. Because you're eternal, and your calling is fireproof. So breathe. Stand tall. Remember who you are. You're not just in a battle. You are the battle. Your light is the resistance. Your purpose is the weapon. And your faith, it's the victory. You've already survived things that would have broken others. You've walked through fire and didn't even smell like smoke. That's not luck, chosen one. That's covering. That's favor. That's divine protection. And it means one thing loud and clear: you're not done yet. You didn't come this far to fold under pressure. You didn't survive every storm just to drown now. You are here, right now, because there's more in you. And the attacks, they are a sign that you're getting closer to your breakthrough. Spiritual warfare intensifies the moment your next level is near. The enemy doesn't waste ammo on those who pose no threat. But you're carrying destiny. And every ounce of darkness knows it. That's why you've been hit so hard lately. Because you're glowing. Because you're awakening. Because you finally said yes to the call. And when a chosen one says yes to God, hell gets nervous. They see you rising. They see you healing. They see you remembering who you really are. And they can't stop it. They can delay it. They can distract you. But they cannot deny what God has ordained. This is your time. Not to beg. Not to chase. But to stand. To take your place as the warrior you were born to be. And here's the truth. Warriors don't always feel strong. They just refuse to give up. You might cry. You might break down. You might not have all the answers. But what sets you apart is that you keep showing up. You keep praying when it's hard. You keep believing when nothing makes sense. You keep walking by faith even when the road is dark. And that's power. Not perfection, but persistence. Every day you keep choosing light in the middle of darkness, you confuse the enemy. Because they thought you'd fold. They thought you'd curse God and walk away. But here you are, still standing, still worshiping, still rising. Chosen one, this is your test. And the pressure? It's proof of your promotion. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them try to block you. They don't realize. They're only helping you. Every attack is fueling your fire. Every rejection is building your resilience. Every delay is refining your discipline. You're being shaped by heaven and opposed by hell. And still, you win. Why? Because God chose you. Not because you were the most talented. Not because you were the most popular. But because you were the most willing. Willing to walk alone. Willing to trust Him when nothing made sense. Willing to suffer in silence while He worked behind the scenes. And now He's about to reveal why the attacks were so severe. He's about to reveal why you had to let go of certain people. Why things had to fall apart. Why isolation became your training ground. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. And this spiritual war, it's the final stretch. The enemy has thrown everything he could. Fear, doubt, temptation, confusion, delay. But none of it worked. Because you stayed rooted. Because you didn't sell your soul for attention. Because you didn't abandon your values to fit in. Because even when your voice trembled, you still spoke the truth. That's why you win. That's why the heavens are backing you. That's why your angels are standing on alert. You've passed test after test. You've buried old versions of yourself. You've broken generational cycles. You've picked up your spiritual sword. And now, it's time to advance. You're not going backward. You're not staying stuck. You're going higher. You're stepping into abundance. You're walking in overflow. Not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Because the war didn't break you. It built you. It unlocked gifts you didn't know you had. It taught you how to pray. It taught you how to discern. It taught you how to let go of what's not aligned with your destiny. And now You're unstoppable. Chosen one, the next version of you is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You've seen too much to doubt. You've healed too much to go back. You've prayed too much to stay small. And even when you're tired, even when you're outnumbered, you're never alone. The whole of heaven is with you. You've got angels assigned to your every step. You've got divine intelligence guiding your every move. You've got authority in your mouth, fire in your belly, and the anointing of a warrior. So don't let this moment scare you. Don't let the chaos trick you into silence. You were born for such a time as this. God has trusted you with impact, with influence, with vision. And now He's trusting you to hold the line, to stay focused, to stay anchored, to keep pressing even when it hurts. Because the victory you're about to walk into, it's not just for you. It's for everyone connected to your obedience. Everyone whose chains will fall because of your courage. Everyone whose life will change because of your prayers. Everyone who needed to see someone like you rise. You're not fighting for survival anymore. You're fighting for legacy. You're fighting for kingdom. And heaven has already declared you win. So rest in that. Move like you know that. Speak like you believe that. Because this spiritual war, it's the sign that your season is shifting. And when this is all said and done, you're not just going to be healed. You're going to be crowned.